Hey everybody, hope your day is going well. We are back with another reaction. We're going to check out City of New Orleans by Steve Goodman. I always hesitate to pronounce New Orleans because I've heard so many different pronunciations. Of course, I'm not a native English speaker. Here in Belgium, we would say Orléans. I've heard it's called New Orleans, Narlands from the locals. Of course, that may sound cringy for somebody who's not from there. I understand. We'll see how Steve pronounces it, and I hope I'm going to be able to stick with that pronunciation. I reacted to Steve Goodman once, so this is the second time. I believe he is the original writer of this song, but it was covered by Arlo Guthrie, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson. Yeah, looking forward to this. This was a Patreon request by Pierre. Thank you so much for this request and donation. Let's have a listen.
Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday morning rail. There's 15 cars and 15 restless riders, the 3 conductors and 25 sacks of mail. They're out on a southbound odyssey, and the train pulls out of Kankakee, rolls past the houses, farms, and fields, passing towns that have no name, and freight yards full of old black men, and the graveyards of rusted automobiles, singing good morning America, how are you? Don't you know me, I'm your native son. I'm just the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. I was dealing cards with the old man in the club car, and it's penny a point, there ain't nobody keeping score. Won't you pass that paper bag that holds the tequila? You can feel the wheels grumbling beneath the floor. The sons of Pullman porters and the sons of engineers all ride their daddy's magic carpet, and it's made of steel. Mothers with their babes asleep go rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they dream. Singing good morning America, how are you? And don't you know me, I'm your native son. I'm just the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when day is done. It's nighttime on the city of New Orleans, and we're changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. All a halfway home, we'll be there by morning, through the Mississippi darkness, rolling to the sea. All the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream, and the old steel rail, it ain't heard the news. The conductor sings that song again, its passengers will please refrain. This train's got the disappearing railroad blues. Good night America, how are you? And don't you know me, I'm your native son. I'm just the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when day is done. Good night America, how are you? And don't you know me, I'm your native son. I'm just the train they call the city of New Orleans. Gone a long, long time when day is done.
Wow, that was a great final note there. Great singing, great guitar playing, and tremendous storytelling, right? Wow. Wow. That is great writing. I've all the senses were, activated, in the storytelling as well, the feeling of the riding of the train, right? Just beneath the floors, the rumbling of the wheels, That's great writing, not only based on visuals, but you get into the other senses as well. It's a testament of a great writer, to include all of that. And this train, the city of New Orleans, is that was that a type of route? And seeing all the changes going on in America, that's a great metaphor, because time doesn't stand still, right? It keeps moving, and it witnesses all change, just like this train, that was maybe built, in a different time, maybe more prosperous for different people, but then, it starts to, he's passing through different towns, that are disappearing, maybe small towns. It's not like it used to be, type of thing. There's maybe less job opportunity, that smaller towns disappear, maybe. Or it's like a real great way of telling how changes happened in America. And Good Morning America, I saw the text on the screen, so I know, I'm not from the US, but I have heard of the show Good Morning America. So that's where they got the title from. Wow. And of course, I saw a heartbreaking text saying that he passed away so young and got diagnosed with leukemia at 20 years old, and then passed away in 1984, and was discovered by Chris Christopherson, another legend. Wow, just imagine what could have been. That hurts so much when they passed away so young and so incredibly talented. Whoa. Yeah, that took me aback there. And many, I mentioned that in the beginning, that this song and other songs were covered by so many great artists. Wow. This, just the way he started off with the 15 cars, 15 restless riders. It's almost like, yo, there's not a lot of people here, right? If there's 15 cars, I know, and only 15 riders, three conductors, and a little bit of mail, 25 sacks of mail. So it's like there's not a lot of people on here. We got a southbound Odyssey, which is, of course, a great way of describing a journey, right? It has a little bit more weight to that word. And then we're going through the fields, the farms, the houses, towns that have trains that have no names. Uh, yeah, graveyards of rusted automobiles and stuff. It's just very, very visual, and it has a heartbreaking, melancholy feel to it. Uh, and then we get to this scene in the cart. I guess people playing cards, and they're not even keeping score. So there's great metaphors here. Um, Past the paper bag that holds the tequila. Hiding the bottle in plain sight. Basically, I always think of that story in The Wire. I don't know if you remember that scene where he talks about hiding in plain sight. That brown paper bag kind of, is a way of the police, of law enforcement, like looking through the fingers, as we say in Belgium. Like, okay, we're gonna ignore that. We know it's a bottle, but because of the brown paper bag, we're just gonna, let it slide, basically. Um, in The Wire, he was making the case for drugs to do the same thing. Ooh, we all know how that turned out. Uh, yeah, so that's another great line. Man, wow. Ride their fathers, magic carpets made of steel. So, the train is like that magic carpet. Uh, Rocking to the gentle beat, the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Yo, great, great, great storytelling. And yeah, it is almost like music, right? There's the train. It's almost like a beat. It's almost like a, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really, such great detail in all these little lines, but have so much, maybe an audible, it triggers something audible, or it triggers something, visual, or even the tactile sense, just within the lyrics. And then you have the guitar, his voice bringing this to life. It's yeah, great song with a great metaphor for change in America, I guess, the transitioning of, time, and everything that's going on, uh economically, and or even, just infrastructure changes. Yeah. That is powerful stuff. Wow. Thank you for introducing me to this. This is really impactful. So yeah, I would. If there's any other work of Steve Goodman you would want me to check out, let me know. I don't know how much he was able to make, in a short time. So yeah, leave me some recommendations. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.